Hey everybody, this is the Gaming Dragon, and welcome back to The Legend of Spyro, Dawn of the Dragon. Last time, we went back to all of the previous chapters and collected all of the remaining collectibles in the entire game. Got 100%. And for our troubles, everything in the bonus menu has been unlocked to us. So what amazing rewards do we reap from doing everything possible in this game? We get art. And the credits! I mean, obviously the best thing that's here. Who doesn't love watching the credits every 5 seconds? I mean, like, who's amazed by that? Okay, but in, like, all seriousness, nobody's here to watch the credits. Nobody's here for the credits. Also, surprisingly, the music stops. Why? Why did the music stop? Uh-oh. Well, well, there it is. So, yeah, the art gallery. That's what you get. To unlock Spyro and Cinder's art galleries, you need to master Fire and Poison. I'm not actually sure how you get the Alliance gallery. That one's kind of odd. And the same thing goes... And the Scenery gallery you get for, getting to the, You get the Scenery gallery from getting to the floating islands for the first time. In obviously a save profile. As for the enemies gallery, that's the special big reward that you unlock for getting all the collectibles. Which is why it's clearly the last one on the list. As in it's not, which is kind of stupid, but I mean, whatever. So, yeah, the art gallery. It's actually a pretty nice little, like, showcasing of all the art, of, like, specific character specifics. And I actually really like going through this to, like, see, like, how they've designed some of the armor and stuff. Not that one. It is actually really neat, and some of the art concepts, like this here, are super... I would have loved to have had these! These are super cool! And you've got to appreciate the music showcase as well while going through this. Some of the art for this game are absolutely stellar. Look at that. Love that. That's beautiful. You've gotta love that. You really do just have to love that. So, while we're going through here, looking at all this art for Spyro and Cinder, I want to clarify that some of the art that's in here, that we're going to be going through in a minute, I want to talk about specifically, because it is so badass. It's mostly in the enemy art concept, and of course, again, some of the armor for Cinder, which... Damn, I wish we got it. I'm actually upset about some of this armor. Not having it. But some of the enemy concepts that were for Dawn of the Dragon, I'm actually kind of sad didn't get put into this game. And it's pretty clear that they were trying to make Dawn of the Dragon a lot more intense than the other two previous titles. Because A New Beginning and Eternal Night were, I guess, cartoonier in appearance than Dawn of the Dragon. Dawn of the Dragon tried to be way more mature than the other two titles. And honestly, it's not hard to see that they actually did try their best to make it more, like, grown up and stuff, because, I mean, Spyro and Cinder have grown a lot since the last two games, and honestly, you know, like, they really did try to put a lot of effort into making the enemies seem more vicious, seem more, evil, or, you know, destructive. And as I've stated previously, I actually played this game before any other Spyro title. So I didn't play, like, the original Spyro trilogy that was on the PlayStation 1 and 2. I never played any of those. I did, eventually, but I didn't play any of those prior. And hey, there's some of the moles. Like, they had intentions to bring the moles back from, the previous games, and these are the remakes of them at the City of Warfang. But, it's just... There were some of the designs for the enemies that I wish they would have kept. And some of them, like when we get there, you'll see. But, like, the designs for, like, what the enemies were supposed to be. Honestly, I'm actually going to save the enemies for last because of this. Moving on, we'll do the enemies last. So, there's just a lot of stuff that they really tried to expand upon. And it's clear they tried to, like, I don't know if roguelike is the name I should give it, but they wanted to give it a more open world feel, and they tried to make it, like, capitalize on, like, more of, like an adventure game. Like, it kind of feels like it's so weird for me to say this, but it does kind of feel like they tried to make it more of, like, a Dark Souls-y game. Like, dodging can be a major mechanic if you know how to use it correctly. You don't have to at all whatsoever, because once you upgrade your powers enough, it's practically pointless. But, like, with how big the worlds are, with how more, like, supposedly, like, more open, with, like, how all the characters and areas are designed, like, you can see it all here. Does this look like a Spyro game to you? Does this scream Legend of Spyro? That does. That screams Spyro a little bit. But, like, does that look like Spyro? No. Does that look like something from a Spyro game? No, of course it doesn't. None of this does. If somebody had never heard of The Legend of Spyro and you showed them this art and you asked them what game this was from, they would probably say Dark Souls, or maybe they would say, like, probably something along the lines of Xenoblade, or maybe even, like an Elder Scrolls game or something. You would not look at that and think that that's Spyro the Dragon. Spyro the goddamn Dragon. You would not imagine that at all in a million years. That would not be the first thing that would come to your mind. And it's a huge, like, shift in art direction from the, not a super huge shift, but, like, from the first two Legend of Spyro games, it's a pretty huge shift in, like, them trying to make a much more darker scenario than they had ever done. And especially with how Spyro originally started out with the original Spyro the Dragon, like that first game on the PlayStation 1 was so cartoony and light. The music was, like, super lighthearted. And then you turn and look at Dawn of the Dragon, and you hear music like that. And you see areas like that. You see locations like this and there. And just how it's presented. It's definitely a different call. Call? You know what I mean? It's a far cry from, like, how Spyro used to be. And you see they tried to give it, like, that more of an edgier, like, way. Because, you know, all the cool kids were becoming edgy around that time. And honestly, I kind of like it, but it could have been done so much better. Like, all of this concept art and stuff that you're seeing, you can tell that, like, a lot of this wasn't even used in the game. Like, imagine if it was, though. Like, look at this. Like, look at how realistic that looks. Why is that concept art for a Spyro game? Look at that. Imagine, just imagine if it actually looked like that. If it actually looked that realistic. Like, this is the reason why I want these games to be remade. Because there's so much good art out there that they had, like, this was, like what they wanted originally, and this didn't. Like, I'm willing to bet they probably ran out of budget for this game. And, like, they ended up having to, like, oh, there's Malifor. And they ended up having to, like, cut a lot of things that they didn't want to. And with that, the enemies, what I've been wanting to talk about this entire time, because there's some cool stuff in here. And of course, I hype it up and I press the wrong goddamn button. I am such a freaking genius. So, you see those white enemies? Like, okay, so, like, look at these enemy designs. Just look at these enemy designs. A lot of these are early concepts for the, obviously the early concepts for the enemies that we see now, except for that one. And, like, I like some of the designs we got, but I prefer the ones that we didn't get. Like, I'm sure we'll see them pretty soon. Like, what the fuck is that thing? Like, look at that guy! He looks cool. And there are these white-colored enemies. And, like, I like to call them, like, the Void Monsters. In my head, I call them the Void Monsters. I hope they show them. Because those guys look so badass. That's how they look in the game, but because of, like, how low resolution it is, you can't see. Those guys. Oh my god, there's another one of those guys. It's like a giant white yeti with just, like, a big circle for a face. I wonder if that's in here. If it's not, I'm gonna have to pull it up from the Spyro wiki, because I know it's in the Spyro wiki. That's the guy! Jesus! Like, I'm not gonna lie, some of these designs kind of cool. They honestly, like I said before, it really looks like Dark Souls bosses. They look like Dark Souls bosses. They just straight up look like enemies from Dark Souls or from Skyrim. They do not look like Spyro enemies. Like, come on, man. They do not. The Shadow Apes. I like how they use, like, the original, like, design for Spyro from the first 2 games there on this size chart, just to show how big everything is. Flying, I see how they call them flying enemies, but they're called wyverns according to the Spyro wiki. The scorpions, oh, the scorpions were so cool. I think that's an early concept of the Destroyer, that giant scorpion. There's the Golem. Honestly, I prefer that old design. There's the Destroyer. Damn. There's the Golem again. I do really like the Golem's design. Like, I kind of wish it played a bigger role than just, like, the one level in, like, the beginning chapter. The shadowy appearance of the Destroyer. The Destroyer definitely got a look where it definitely looks more like a Godzilla, sort of, like a Godzilla ripoff. And early concept art for Malifor. Because Malefor didn't actually have an appearance in any of the previous games until here and now. Honestly, I was expecting this this video to be a little longer. But I guess this will give me a chance to like show you guys a better look at some of the enemies from The Legend of Spyro. Like, not some of the enemies, but like some of the concept art for a lot of the enemies that appear here. You got to see a lot of it in like all that art, but like to really get a good look at them, because they are really, really cool. And honestly, like half the time, like the game, nowhere in the game does it tell you their names except for the base ones that are just called the Grublins. Like that's literally all you get to know. Like, you know, the other guys are called the Apes, but their official title is the Shadow Apes. And like, you know about them because you're like, hey, those are from the other two games, but that's about all you know. You don't know like what any of them are actually called except for Grublins. Like, would you have ever known that the giant like Donkey Kong ass looking monsters are called trolls? Would you have known that the flying guys are called wyverns? Would you have known that the giant guys with the malices? No, with the maces are called hero orcs, or that any of them were considered orcs at all? No, you wouldn't have, because there's nowhere in the game that it tells you that, ever. Like, you would have never known that. Like, why don't they show you? So, I'm gonna take this opportunity, because I actually talked over it the entire time, to actually let the song from the end credits play, because it is actually, like, one of my favorite songs. Like, it's really, like, one of my favorite songs from, not from a video game in total, but it's a really good end credit song, especially for Spyro and Cinder's journey through the Legend of Spyro series. I talked over it the entire time during the credits, and I really want to give you guys a chance to listen to it. This video is basically just me ranting and rambling about concept art and stuff, and wanting to show you guys what all of this art looks like and whatnot. So, I guess while I show you as much art as I can possibly find until I run out and inevitably just have to, just let you watch the credits, yeah. That's been The Legend of Spyro Dawn of the Dragon. I wish there was more stuff I could talk about in the bonus menu, but there's not, because it's all art. There's nothing really special I can talk about, which is kind of disappointing. Hey, I can talk about the options menu. That's really cool, I guess. Hooray. Alright, y'all enjoy this song. It deserves all the praise. It's really good. And I will see you all next time when I work on my next Let's Play. I think I got a pretty good idea on what I'm going to be doing next. Yeah, pretty certain I know what I'm going to be doing next. It's gonna be fun. I'm not gonna say anything just in case if there's a chance I change my mind. But it's not looking like I will be. But you never know me. I might end up changing my mind. Because I'm stupid. Alright, I'll see y'all later. Bye!
This is the darkest night. Stars have all faded away.